I have a special interest with children on the autism spectrum, largely because I've been working with them for so long. In 1970, I was part of the team that first understood the sensory issues involved in autism. And ever since, I've been working to develop better and better and better understandings of all the pieces affected and how to address them. I'm happy to report that each year our outcomes get better because we get smarter and we get better. We typically, through the last decades, have worked with on the average of 300 or 400 children on the spectrum at any given time. And we work with whole children. One of the things that has impaired the development and understanding of treatments and the function of kids on the spectrum is that typically people work with pieces. You have psychologists, and you have neurologists, and you have PTs, speech therapists, and occupational therapists, and special educators, and all people who work with pieces of the child and don't see the whole child. All right? We work with the whole child, every aspect of the child, from their diet and nutrition to how they sleep, all aspects of how they behave, how they see, how they hear, how they taste, feel, smell, what they eat, what they won't eat, all right, how they process information, how they think, how they don't think, and all the educational pieces as well, the whole child. And one of the great benefits of working with whole children is we discover how this piece impacts that piece, and this impacts that, and how you've got to put the whole picture together to really produce great outcomes. Now, to give you just a little foundational understanding of the spectrum, at the foundation of the problem are sensory issues. Sensory issues to varying degrees can involve all the sensory channels. The most obvious are auditory channels and visual channels. But also we have tactile issues, issues with odors, issues with tastes. And in any given child, you can have any combination of these sensory issues. The sensory issues then negatively impact the information that the child's brain is processing, which impacts the development of that brain. Computer world talk about, garbage in, garbage out. Well, to whatever degree you've got sensory issues determines how the quality of the input or how much garbage is in the input. And one of the more critical things affected by those sensory issues is the development of the foundation of cognition and the foundation of most of our function, which is short-term memory processing, working memory, executive function, the ability to think in pictures and in words. The truth is, most of the people on the spectrum are strong visualizers, thinking in pictures, but don't think well in words, all right, which is why so many things are difficult for them, right? It's important that we start normalizing the sensory channels and then work intently and specifically on developing all these foundational pieces. At NACD, we do what we call targeted developmental intervention, which means we look at an individual, as a unique individual, and then we figure out where their specific issues are. And then we create a very targeted program. You do this thing this many minutes, this many times a day, and this thing this many minutes, this many times a day. Right? Very specific, very targeted to help producing neurological change, triggering neuroplasticity, to accelerate and normalize the development for that child. And we do that with the greatest experts on the child, you, the parents. All right? We do understand that you are the greatest expert. You know your child, and we depend upon your knowledge of your child to help us understand your child and target a program to fit your child. You know, when we do an assessment of the child, you know, we generally are not going to send you away for part of it. You know, the higher functioning kids, yeah, we'll do some individual testing and such. But in general, we're going to pick your brain to help us identify where your child is and where their issues are. All right? And then we're going to give you access to us, to our years of experience, all of our expertise to help develop a program together that fits your child within your family. You know, I want to tell you that we've had many, 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 many children on the spectrum, including kids, you know, on the severe end of the spectrum, who no one today would have a clue that they ever had an issue. Okay? Don't limit your expectations. Neuroplasticity, you've heard me talk about neuroplasticity by now, I'm sure. Essentially means we have the ability to affect significant and substantial change by doing the right things. Right? There aren't limits. So our job with you is to produce that change. And again, we do that by creating an individual specific program, targeted intervention program. We train you, we give you a coach, we provide you with as much access to us as you need through telephone, email, through Skype. We have a portal where we have you upload videos for us so we can observe firsthand what your child's doing, what's happening, how you're implementing program activities. Tweak, modify, adjust the program, make it as dynamic as possible so we stay on the target and work to produce as much change as we possibly can, as fast as we possibly can. That's what we do. Yeah? I'd encourage you, we have a whole seminar on autism in the spectrum. If you get a chance, I'd encourage you to watch that. We have articles. Find out about us, learn about us. You know, if what we're doing makes sense to you, we're here. Give us a call. We're happy to help. Thanks.